second reading of this very important bill had to be deferred to another legislative day in order for the Senate to seek legal clarification on the competence of the National Assembly to legislate on the issue sought to be addressed by this bill. While I sincerely commend my distinguished colleagues for the attention given to the bill and the robust contributions it attracted, I would like to restate my earlier stand that by community reading of Section 4.2, Item 60A of the exclusive legislative list and Section 13 and 14, subsection 2B of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, the National Assembly has the exclusive powers and indeed the obligation to enact a law to set up a body such as the commission proposed by the bill for the purpose of promoting the security and welfare of the FCT borderline communities in all affected states. In fact, Section 13 of the Constitution makes the duty and the responsibility of the legislature to do that. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it should be emphasized that the proposal for the establishment of the FCT Borderline Communities Development Commission is a fallout of the creation of the FCT and its effects on communities and states contiguous to the FCT. It was recommended in the Abuja Master Plan that a special joint planning body be established to address the socio-economic and security impact of the rapid urbanization of the FCT on border areas, which areas are clearly identified in the master plan. Indeed, while the absence of an appropriate legal and institutional framework has hampered attempts by previous administrations to establish a joint development zone comprising of 5 states of Nasarawa, Niger, Kogi, Kaduna, and Plateau, only the National Assembly and not the State House of Assembly has the constitutional legislative competence to resolve this institutional and legal conundrum in the interest of the less privileged Nigerians living in FCT border communities such as Suleja, Mararaba, Kefi, and so on. The objectives of this bill are as follows. One, to provide the legal and institutional framework for the planning, development, implementation and coordination of infrastructural projects in the FCT borderline communities such as Suleja, Mararaba, Kefi, Karu, Wuse as indicated. Two, to provide alternative sources of funding for infrastructural development projects for FCT borderline communities by allowing the federal government and the affected states and private companies to contribute to the fund established under the bill for such projects. 3, to provide an alternative template for the decongestion of the Federal Capital Territory and reduce the security burden of congested borderline communities. And 4, to complement the work of the Department of Satellite Towns Infrastructure, DSTI, whose mandate is limited to the development of infrastructure around Febuary, Kuje, Gosa, and satellite towns within the FCT. The passage of this bill is justified for a number of reasons. Firstly, it will address the problem of exponential population explosion vis-a-vis housing and infrastructural deficit in Abuja. Indeed, while the Abuja Master Plan projected the total population of residents in phases 1 to 4 of the FCT will be 3 million, the population of Abuja as of today has exceeded 10 million inhabitants. The proposed commission will therefore execute a comprehensive program of action for housing development, elimination of slums, and promotion of diversity through spatial decongestion of housing opportunities for persons of lower income, and generally improve social infrastructure in the FCT border communities, as well as address the mounting security challenges. Secondly, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, since the Department of Satellite Towns Infrastructure established by the Federal Capital Development Authority has its mandate restricted only to infrastructural development in Febuary and Kuba and other satellite towns within the FCT. The passage of this bill is appropriate as it will cater for communities on the border of FCT, which now offer alternative housing to thousands of workers including our legislative aids, and also serve as a repository for the overflowing population from the FCT. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it might interest you to note that a similar bill has already passed second reading in the House of Representatives and is at the committee stage. The principles of the bill is one, the overriding principle behind the introduction of the bill is to provide the legal and institutional framework that will bridge infrastructural gap between the FCT borderline communities and the FCT in order to help the congested capital territory. Secondly, there is an urgent need to promote collaboration between the FCDA and the 5 states contiguous to FCT to ensure sustainable development of social infrastructure in the FCT borderline communities to address security and welfare challenges of the affected communities. Thirdly, the bill was inspired by the need to promote efficient urban and regional development within the FCT, boost economic growth, improve the standard of living, minimize insecurity and unrest within the border communities and the FCT. The bill has 20 clauses. Clause 1, 2, and 5 provide the establishment of the FCT Borderline Communities Development Commission and the governing board of the commission respectively, while Clause 5 provides for the functions of the commission. Clause 7 deals with the appointment of the DG of the commission and other staff. Membership of the governing board is on a part-time basis, so government will incur less expense in maintaining the bureaucracy associated with the establishment of the commission. Section 9 provides for the sources of funding the projects and activities of the commission to include contribution by construction companies executing contracts in the affected states and within the FCT, intervention from environmental agencies, etc., to make the commission self-reliant through public-private sector initiatives. The bill has 3 accompanying schedules, with the second schedule designating the borderline communities to be developed by the commission. In conclusion, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, in view of the foregoing explanation, I urge you all to support the speedy passage of this bill. And financial compendium is attached to this bill debate in satisfaction of Order 773 of the Senate Standing Order 2015. Thank you most sincerely for your kind attention.
Senator Jibril.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Barrow Jibril, representing Kano North. Mr. President, I stand to support this bill in view of the fact that the borderline communities in the states of Niger, Kogi, and the rest, I don't want to put the heat due to the expansion of the FCT in terms of its population. Most of the workers in FCT, those who work in FCT, most of them would not have the money or the wherewithal to rent houses within FCT, reside in those areas. And you'll find a big gap between development in those areas and the FCT itself. So I think there is the need to create this commission so that it will help to take care of developing those areas because they are really, they assist FCT in those well measures. So the intent of this bill is very, very clear, stated as stated open in the debate. So I think it's really important to support this bill, and that will really help. It will help in no small measure to take the heat. Currently, these towns, as I said earlier, we find a lot of even our own aides. Some of them stay in those places. I know it will really help his constituency, but that does not really matter. It doesn't really matter as long as it will help the entire FCT. It's something that should be welcome. So I support the bill, and I urge my colleagues to also support it in view of its importance. Thank you.
Senator Dele.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. My name is Shola Adeyeye. I'm from Osun Central. I rise to oppose this bill in its entirety. If we are talking about border communities, there are border communities throughout the length and breadth of Nigeria. Every urban center in this country suffers the same problem of overpopulation and extremely poor facilities. Facilities of power supply, of hospitals, of schools, of transportation, of health facilities are woefully poor in every urban center of Nigeria, whether it is in Lagos or Port Harcourt or Abuja or Kano or name anywhere. And if we are going to attend to this problem, I believe we'll be totally remiss to focus only on those states that border the FCT, which I won't describe in a language that you did not like, but which I knew I was saying the truth, and you forced me to withdraw that language, and I will not mention it again. But the truth of the matter is, when you look at how much the FCT is consuming, either in terms of space or population, the FCT already takes unfair advantage of the federative units of this country. Therefore, if population is split into the borderlines, let those populations pay their tax there, as a result of which those states will have the revenues to supply whatever they need to supply. Many of us who live in Abuja can say the truth to this republic that the majority of the real estate of Abuja is not taxed. So if we wanted to have the money of Lagos, it must be willing to pay the tax of Lagos, because Lagos is doing something right and we must copy Lagos. And that's precisely what we are saying, that we cannot kill the goose that lays the golden egg by simply all the time imposing more responsibilities on the federal government. What are the responsibilities of the states? What's the responsibility of Niger State? What is the responsibility of Nasarawa State? What's the responsibility of every state adjoining the federal capital that we want to create a commission again? If you want to create that commission, then let us now plead that those of us who are from borders town, my village is half a kilometer from Kwara State and 1 mile from Ekiti State, we also need a border commission for all such towns. Because what happens to us is that roads always stop in the big towns before the small towns that border every state. So you cannot give any preferential treatment to those communities bordering the FCT unless you remember Ibominos, who are split between 3 states, and because of that split not of ourselves, we are made a minority in every one of those 3 states. If you will not give us our own state, then you must give us the same privileges that this bill is seeking to give to Nasarawa and Niger and Kogi and Plateau. Otherwise, we will simply be multiplying bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is like cancer. It always grows. Put the question, win it. By the grace of God, we will make sure the president doesn't sign it. It's a bad bill. God bless you. Put the question, win today, it will not become law in this country by the grace of God. We must be senators. Senators must think to the future. Senators must live like statesmen. We cannot just be passing bills. Everything institute, council. Very soon we will establish a national council against public urination. God bless you.
Point of order, Senator David Omoro.
Mr. President, I wish to first of all object to the
point of order. Which order to come under? You say point of order. That's why I called you. If you don't have point of order, then let me ask you that to contribute.
Look, I think, get your attention so that I can make clarification on the...
No, so you didn't want the point of order. Okay, sit down. Since it's not a point of order, let me ask others to contribute. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues. First, let me thank my brother, Senator David Omoro, for thinking of the plight of the border communities adjoining the FCT. And let me also thank the Chief Whip and other people who have contributed. I want to urge that my brother, the chairman of the judiciary, can withdraw this bill for now, and then we rework, and then can just step it down so that we rework, because the questions I would have loved to ask, I'm coming. The questions I would have loved to ask are numerous. The FCT is the creation of the Constitution, and then within the FCT itself, you have the Federal Capital Development Authority. You also have the what we may call the Federal Capital Territory, which of course adjoins all states. So creating another commission will even conflict with the work of the Federal Capital Development Authority. And one of the problems we have in Nigeria today is that the federal government is overburdened with commissions and directors general, to the point where we have been saying that the best way to move forward will be to unbundle the weight that we put on the federal government. But I think there must be other ways of taking care of the border communities in a way that, because it will help us. Our staff are living there, the FCC is expanding, and I think if we stay this down and then we do more consultations, we may find a more convenient way of doing it without going against the Constitution, and also making sure that the territorial integrity of the FCT is maintained, and the FCDA is not in any way hampered by the work of this incoming commission. But on the whole, I think even the idea of thinking about it at all is commendable. That would be my submission, sir.
Senator David Moro, you want to make a comment before I put the question?
Mr. President, I think first of all, I feel that it's unfortunate with the way the leader had actually concluded his remarks, which was, I think, a personal attack on me. Having said that, I want to say that this issue of the commission is not something that is just coming up for the first time. When the FCT was created, and I have documents to show that this idea of a joint commission was hatched during that time. If Mr. President will permit me, I will read a portion of the master plan, which I have here. Joint planning districts. The need for a joint planning. As plans for the Federal Capital Territory and the new capital city begin to take form, the outlines of issues relating to the development of the surrounding region also begin to assume shape. In particular, 3 types of issues related to the border areas of the FCT have become apparent. The first issue is how to control unwanted urbanization, which might occur both within the FCT and in the peripheral states adjoining FCT. In general, the dynamics of spontaneous urban growth respond to transportation access and economics. Characteristically, political boundaries tend to be ignored, as is readily apparent in almost all modern metropolitan areas throughout the world. Even where land development is highly controlled by public policy, unified regulation codes or a relaxation of policy enforcement have resulted in unplanned growth. Even though the FCT is very large, making it seemingly possible to control the direction of growth easily, the fact is that conditions already exist in both FCT and the immediately adjoining states, which will eventually induce development to occur in ways not likely to be specified in the plan. It is safe to say that uncontrolled growth in those areas of the FCT having no access will occur. Therefore, minimal preventive steps are necessary. However, those areas in the FCT adjoining highways, particularly highways linking with areas outside the territory, will require great attention. In fact, the last one, Mr. President, it says special joint FCT planning district. Because of the problems resulting from the non-coincidence of political boundaries with natural geographical districts, as well as the development problems resulting from the access and proximity, it is recommended that special joint planning areas be established with the states surrounding the FCT, because the impact of the issues involved are very different. It is imperative that special joint planning areas be established in several cases, and desirable that this should be done in several orders. In fact, there is a drawing indicating those areas which we have captured in the bill. So, Mr. President, the fact that this bill has been presented to take care of this community does not prevent the professor from doing the same for his people. If he's not worried about his people.
All right, David, let me put the question. Those in favor that this bill read second time say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Aye. Let me try again. Those in favor that this bill read this second time say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Federal Capital Territory Borderline Community Development Commission, charged with the responsibilities to, among other things, prepare, coordinate, and execute a comprehensive program of actions for housing development and for other related matters, 2018, second reading.
A bill for an act to establish Federal Capital Territory FCT Borderline Communities Development Commission, charged with the responsibilities to, among other things, prepare, coordinate, and execute a comprehensive program of actions for housing development and for other related matters, 2017 second reading taken. This bill is referred to FCT report back in 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, relying on Order 1B, Mr. President, I want to move that we take the 12th order of the day instead of the 10th, and then it follows that pattern. No, we are stepping down for now.
This leader, can we take it? Order 9 is not here. It's not. Okay, so let's take that one and stand that down first. Then we go on.
We stand down the consideration of the 9th order. This is based on request by Senator Burfi that we take it on another legislative day. And then Senator Olujimi had requested Senator Gobir that she has a meeting and she needs to make a presentation in place of Gobir, and Gobir has accepted. Okay.
Leader, can we first take the 9th order of the day and stand it down? And let minority leader second that, then we take that. Minority leader, can you second that the 9th order of the day will stood down since Senator Kurfi is not here?
Thank you, Mr. President, colleagues. I follow your cue. I don't want Misal to treat the leader as IG. I second the motion.
The Senate colleagues, those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate, 10th order of the day.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the 10th order of the day is the second reading of the Engineering Registration ETC Council Act, Cap E 11 LFN 2004, Amendment Bill 2018. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Wednesday, the 18th of May 2016. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Abraham Gobir to move the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Senator Gobir, you should come and tell us.
Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, my own paper is just on its way coming, so I just want 5 minutes or something. Somebody can take before me, and immediately my own comes in, I'll take it up. With your permission, Your Excellency.
Yes, Senator Gobi, you are stepping up for the timing. So you request that we do stand down to later in the day. Yeah. All right, leader. Can you move the motion that we stand down to later in the day? But can we second that? Later in the day. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Bill of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the 11th order of the day, second reading of Federal College of Education, Misau, Bauchi State Establishment, etc., Bill 2018. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Thursday, the 25th of January 2018. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Issa Misau to move the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Senator Misau.
Thank you, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, this bill seeks to establish a Federal College of Education in Misau, Bauchi Central, Bauchi State, for training of teachers for primary and post-primary schools within and around Bauchi State. The bill was first read on the floor of the Senate on the 25th January 2018. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, College of Educations are established to train teachers of primary and secondary school students. Education, as we all know, as we all aware, is a prerequisite for quality manpower development, and teachers have important roles in the preparation of young people for their effective participation in the society, especially towards national growth and development. Teacher education is therefore the foundation of quality and high standards in the educational system. It has been noted within the educational sector that the issues of teachers' preparation, supply, status enhancement, motivation, as well as training and retraining are at the heat of educational reform at all levels. One of the key strategic actions for the actualization of such education policy, like the Universal Basic Education, Education for All, and related social development goals, SDG, is the continued expansion of teacher training opportunities. It is on this strength of this that this bill seeks to provide for the establishment of a College of Education in Bauchi Central, Bauchi State. According to the Nigerian Social Indicators, a 2013 publication of the National Institute of Legislative Studies, NILS, which provide data on the state of social welfare in the country. Inadequate teaching staff and poor quality of teaching and non-teaching staff are identified as part of the challenges in the education sector. This underlines the fact that the effectiveness of any educational system depends on the educational attainment of teachers, because no system of education can be qualitatively higher than the quality and commitment of its teachers. The report also noted that there are still many unqualified teachers in the country's education system, while stressing the need for urgent improvement. The recent event in Kaduna State, where school teachers failed a grade 4 test, shows the necessity of expanding teachers' training infrastructure, especially to areas like Bauchi State with potentially similar challenge due to inadequate teacher training institutions. According to the statistical digest on colleges of education of the National Commission for Colleges of Education, there are 82 colleges of education in the country, consisting of 22 federal, 14 private, and 46 state colleges of education. The same data indicates that only one public college of education exists in Bauchi State, which is the State College of Education Azare in Bauchi North Senatorial Zone. This is not only grossly inadequate, but exposes the background integration of the state in producing quality teachers for actualization of national policies on education. Also, according to the Universal Basic Education Commission 2010 Basic Education Profile on National and Regional Statistics, Bauchi State ranked highest in the growth enrollment figure in primary schools in the Northeast on the basic education indicators. The state has the highest number of primary schools out of the total primary schools in the Northeast. The same with the number of junior secondary schools. However, the state maintains the lowest percentage of qualified teachers in primary and junior secondary schools in the zone. And this indicates a high number of pupils per qualified teacher ratio that does not encourage efficient classroom system, which is one of the cardinal objectives of teacher education in the county. So within the Bauchi Central Zone, which is an old administrative center, yet lacking in infrastructure, social amenity, virtually all educational institutions in the state are either located in Bauchi South or Bauchi North Senatorial Zone. Federal educational institutions in Bauchi South is home to the following federal institutions. The Bauchi South has Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, the Federal Polytechnic Bauchi, Federal School of Nursing and Midwifery, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Teaching Hospital, National Open University Bauchi Main Campus, Federal Government Girls College Bauchi. Bauchi North has the following: Federal School of Nursing and Midwifery Azare, National Open University Azare, National Security and Civil Defense College Azare, Federal Government College Azare. While in the Central Zone, we don't have any federal institution, educational institution. The only federal institution in Bauchi Central is the proposed yes not to take the Navy Secondary School. Mr. President, distinguished senators, aside from available statistics and the need to ensure even educational infrastructural development of the state, Mr. Bauchi Central Senatorial Zone is equidistant to other senatorial zones in the state. Mr. is not only strategically located to serve other zones in the state, but will effectively serve the needs of the catchment states within the Northeast zone. Establishment of Federal College of Education is in line with the national policy on education, produce highly motivated, conscientious, and efficient classroom teachers for primary and junior secondary school within the educational system in Bauchi Central and its catchment areas. Encourage and further the spirit of inquiry and creativity in teachers. Help teachers fit into the social life of the community and society at large, and enhance their commitment to national goals, and provide teachers within and its environment with the intellectual and professional background adequate for their assignment and make them acceptable to changing situations. Collaborate with other institutions in terms of research development, skill acquisition, management, and personal improvement with a view to socially engineering the school, immediate society, and the country at large. The bill is arranged in 27 clauses with 3 schedules and divided into 5 parts consisting of establishment, composition, and functions of the college, general fund, transfer of property and condition of service of the employees, status of college and mode of exercising power to make status, supervision and discipline of staff and students, and miscellaneous provisions. In conclusion, in compliance with Order 77.3 of the Senate Standing Rule as amended, attached for the necessary information of distinguished senators is the compendium of financial implications of the bill. I therefore urge my distinguished colleagues to support the second reading of this bill. Thank you.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I just want to remind us of one of our very landmark and important resolutions here in the Senate, that every state should have a federal university, a federal college of education, and a federal polytechnic. And no two institutions should be located to a senatorial district. That is, there should be a spread. Maybe a university in one, a polytechnic in another, a college of education in the third. I believe that this is very, very fundamental, but the theme of our contribution, Mr. President, here is we need to engage the executive arm of government at the highest level, because we may be doing whatever we are trying to do to get these institutions established across all the senatorial districts in the country, and they may have a different approach and opinion. So we need to engage them as quickly as possible. There is nothing wrong. In fact, it's going to give this administration a plus. I recall that when almost every state had a federal university except Yobe, Kebbi, and Zamfara, we met the then president and we told him, as a committee on education led by the late Senator Chukwumerejo, who was our chairman, that every state must have a federal university. And he bought into the idea, even though it was not a PDP agenda. It was an idea that was very beautiful, and I believe that this Senate had passed a very good resolution. So we need to engage the executive as quickly as possible, so that these institutions that we seek to be established are established in good time. And I support the second reading of this bill, and I want to urge all my colleagues, definitely nobody has anything against the establishment of this. I support.
Those in favor of that bill, raise second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Education, Misau, Bauchi State, and for other matters connected therewith, 2018, second reading.
A bill for an act for the establishment of the Federal College of Education, Misau, Bauchi State, and for other matters connected therewith, 2018, is ready second time, say it. Ready second man, take it. This bill referred to tertiary. Report back in 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the 12th order of the day, second reading of the Federal College of Education, Omo Ekiti State Establishment Etc. Bill 2018. The single senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Thursday, the 1st of February 2018. Mr. President, may we invite Senator Abiodun Olujumi to move the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Thank you
very much, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, I know time is fast spent, but it will take me a very short time to go through this lead debate. Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues, permit me to lead the debate on this very important bill, which seeks to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Education, Omo Ekiti, in Ekiti State. The bill, as read by the Senate leader, was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Thursday, the 1st of February 2018. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, we all know that education is the bedrock of every society. The existence of a sound and robust educational system in any country is predicated on the availability of qualified and well-trained teachers to impact the required knowledge, skills, discipline, and values on the students. Thus, the need to have a strong system in the educational sector that shall continuously produce well-qualified, trained, disciplined, God-fearing teachers. The objects of the college shall be, one, to encourage the advancement of learning and to hold out to all persons without distinction of race, creed, sex, or political conviction. B, to develop and offer academic and professional programs. And M, to undertake any activity that is appropriate for a college of education of the highest standard. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, you may wish to know that Omo Ekiti is the headquarters of Ekiti East local government area, where with towns and villages like Elasha, Araro, Nyoke, Omoke, Kwamba, Edaile, and Isimbodi, they are all situated around there, and they have several secondary schools. But despite the existence of numerous secondary schools in the area, there is no higher institution, and the senatorial district to which I belong does not also have any federal institution whatsoever. The remaining two senatorial districts do have the Federal University Oye and the Federal Polytechnic Ado Ekiti. The enactment of this bill will not only help in transforming the decayed educational infrastructures in Nigeria, but also help the development of the hitherto neglected districts of the state. Distinguished senators, the economic recovery and growth plan of the federal government is in tandem with the provision of this proposed bill, as it is set to improve teacher quality by incentivizing performance and building capabilities and capacities. Therefore, distinguished colleagues, this document also bears a compendium, and we are asking for so little because the community has decided to provide part of the infrastructural requirements. Distinguished President, distinguished colleagues, I urge my colleagues to please support the second reading of this very important bill. Thank you very much.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, let me thank distinguished Rujimi for bringing this to attention. Of course, we know that education is the bedrock of the development of the future of our children, and will solve almost all problems, including brigandage, including the current situation of insecurity in the country. And for such a very large territorial district not to have any presence at all of any federal institution of higher learning, I think it is something that is long overdue. So I want to thank you for doing this for your people, and I support this bill in its entirety, and I urge my colleagues to do so. Thank you, Mr. President.
Let me put those in favor that this bill was read second time, say aye. Those against say nay. There is a clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Education, Omo Ekiti, Ekiti State, and for other matters connected therewith, 2018, second reading.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Education, Omo Ekiti, Ekiti, and for other matters connected with 2018, read the second time. This bill is referred to Committee on Tertiary Education. Report back in 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the 13th order of the day is the second reading of the Sports University of Nigeria Abuja Establishment etc. Bill 2018. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read first time in this chamber on Thursday, the 9th of March 2017. Mr. President, we wish to invite Senator Obina Ogba to move the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Senator Obina Ogba.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, Obina Ogba, my name is Ebonyi Central. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, permit me to lead the debate of this very important bill for the establishment of the Federal University of Sports in Calabria State. The bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Thursday, 9th March 2017. And it seeks to establish the Federal University of Sports and comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the very essence of this bill is to provide a highly specialized institution where youth of our nation can be developed in various sporting endeavors in an academically charged environment. The objective of the University of Sports, among others, include A. Encourage advancement of learning and to roll out to all persons without distinction of race, grade, sex, or political conviction the opportunity of acquiring higher education in sports. B. To develop and offer academic and professional programs leading to the award of diplomas, first degrees, postgraduate, research and higher education, high degree, with emphasis on planning, adaptive, technical, maintenance, developmental, and productive skill in engineering, scientific, and allied professional disciplines relating to sports, research within the aim of producing socially matured men and women with capability not only to understand, use, and adapt existing technologies in sports, but also to improve on them and develop new ones. C, to act as agent of catalyst through postgraduate training, research, and innovation to the effect and economic realization, exploration, and conservation of the country's sports resources. D, to offer the general public, particularly in the area of sports, as a forum of public service, the result of training and research, and to foster the practical application of this result. E, to establish appropriate relationship with other national institutions involved in training, research, and development of technologies in sports sector, to identify the problems and needs of sports in Nigeria and to find solutions to them within the context of overall national development. G, to provide and promote sound basic scientific training as a foundation for the development of sports in Nigeria, taking into account indigenous cultures and the need to enhance national unity. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, our sporting sector has a very high potential and requires high level of technical, scientific, and administrative skill to drive it. The University of Sports is therefore to further advance knowledge through research and nurture unique innovations in sporting sciences and technology. In all modesty, may I submit that the establishment of the University of Sports is therefore a giant step in the right direction and a major milestone in the history of legislative in Nigeria. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, to enactment of this bill will help in transforming the sporting sector of Nigeria in producing the needed sportsmen and women, as well as sports administrators in various sporting events. Mr. President himself will also see this as a fulfillment of their promise. When the Nigerian Sports Visited paid a courtesy call, you made a promise that this bill will scale through. You also made the same promise when the Nigerian youth paid you a courtesy call. In line with our Senate Order 77, the compendium of financial implication is hereby attached. Distinguished colleagues, if this bill is passed, the issue of dropout students in this country will now be a thing of the past, because everybody in this country is affected with one talent or the other, and they are going to use them, develop it if this university is established. I urge you all to support this bill for the sake of reading. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, sir, my distinguished colleagues, I want to applaud the efforts of my brother, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Sports, for sponsoring this bill. On emotion, I want to say, because sports have been denigrated in Nigeria despite our intermittent successes, and I would like to support it. But God gave me a brain that says I must totally oppose this bill. And the reason I oppose it is simple. If sports is getting decayed in Nigeria, it is not because of the absence of a sports university. Those countries of the world that are doing well in sports are not doing well because they have sports university.
They are doing well because at primary school level, they have SC sports facilities and competitions.
Yes, mentally the point of order.
Mr. President, even if I just come under order 43, that the senator may have personal explanation. The personal explanation I would have loved to do is just to guide that we need to second this bill before we go into the debate. It has not been seconded that maybe it's already going into debate.
There's no, what are you seconding? It's a bill now, what are you seconding? There's no bill, there's no second bill. Yes, leader, minority leader. I rule you out of order. Yes, Chief.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. May your profound wisdom continue to correctly guard this chamber. Sir, those countries of the world that are doing well in sports are doing well not because they have universities of sports. America and Russia have sports academy, not sports universities. These sports academies are not in any way equated to a university. Usually, if you are going to practice gymnastics, for example, you have your prime by the age of 16. Most universities don't even accept 16-year-olds. As we talk right now, one tiny island is dominating sprint events in the world. That is Jamaica. And the reason is simple. Every 6 p.m., the light goes on at the sports field. There's not even a stadium at the University of Jamaica, just a sports field. And we have hundreds of students running as if they're running from the Third World War. No wonder that they have continued to produce the like of Usain Bolt. By contrast, go to the University of Ibadan, go to Ahmadu Bello, go to the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Sports facilities are either absent or totally decayed. It does not matter where you put a university of sports. If our high school students no longer have what we used to call Tamojin Cup in the 50s and 60s, if we don't have what we used to call Omitola Cup in the 60s and 70s, where do you want these bright stars to have been groomed to the university level? Sports is not academic. It's a matter of giving training to those who have God-given endowment already. That training can be given in the absence of a university. Most of our universities have colleges of education. When I was in high school, Mr. Fagbemi, who later became a principal officer in the Nigerian Sports Commission, graduated from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and taught us physical education in high school. My high school had a football field. My high school had badminton court. My high school had volleyball court. My high school had tennis court. I do remember that when Brothers Awopegba and Thompson Onibokun came first and second in Nigeria in the 70s, the third person was always my classmate, Suarez, because he learned how to play tennis from high school. SARS, Nigerian sports will not grow until we have again sports fields in our high schools. When you go to most parts of Nigeria today, football fields are now used as places where people have
disco and party for funeral and wedding on Saturdays. That is not a grow sport. So I do empathize with my brother. I do applaud his efforts for wanting to move Nigerian sports forward. But this is not the way to do it. If we want to enhance sports in the university, let's bring Nuga games to what they used to be in our own time. Let's bring the West African University games to what they were after we left. Right now, a few years back, we had Koda games in Abuja. Nigeria was playing in the final. We could not even fill the stadium, despite the fact that the tickets were made free. That's how bad it is in Nigeria today. Therefore, if we are going to reverse that trend, let's do what Shalaki did in Kwara. Let's have the high school boys and girls playing again throughout every state of Nigeria, and our sports will grow. God bless you.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this recognition. And thank you for the other ruling that you did, which was in order. My distinguished colleagues, to be honest, I want to applaud Senator Obina, Chairman of Sports, for even the initiative of bringing this up. The reality is that what the Chief Whip has said, the totality of what we have submitted, is such that, yes, indeed, that there has been absence of sporting activities in all our colleges, particularly in the primary, secondary schools, where you say you catch them young. But then there is still a gap, and that gap is that even at the tertiary level, most parents do not like their children to continue sports. They want them to have education. And because they want them to have education, the mere absence of either a sporting academy that can give them higher certificates or a university of sports that can assist them makes it difficult for them to continue in the God-given talent that God has given to them. And so the effort of the distinguished chairman of sports is to think of how to bridge that gap, to enable these children to continue to save the nation and at the same time develop their talents while also obtaining education. So I would say that, yes, indeed, that what he has said, we should take all these information and allow these bills to pass the government. And then when it gets to the committee level, that definitely they will come out with something that will be acceptable to the generality of Nigerians, whether it's going to be by way of an academy or otherwise. But at the same time, I will urge the chief to also come up with a motion to assist Nigerians, principals of schools, secondary schools across the nation, to once again bring back those things we used to hear in those days, which was the secondary school sports, secondary school football teams, competitions and all that. And we, the elder statesmen in the society now, we can donate cups, we can also donate dollars, we can donate prizes that will enable our children to go into competitive athletics and football and other things. And that will help us to develop sports right from primary school to secondary school. But this one is like a situation whereby a child is so talented and the child is down 14, 15, 16, and the child cannot continue because the parents want the child to have what would enable the child have a job in future, which is a certificate in his hand, a university certificate or a higher institutional certificate. But it's impossible as a result of the total absence of either a higher school academy or university. So I want to support this bill going for a second reading and all that the committee will do a thorough job of all our submissions in their final recommendation to the Senate. So please, I congratulate you. I applaud you for thinking and then being futuristic because Nigeria needs something like this. And the Chief Whip, I also thank you for the fact that yes, 70 years ago, these things were available, but those things are no longer there. And then we will bring a proper motion to reignite and reinvent this at the primary to secondary school level. But this should go for secondary so that we can have something to enable our children to continue in sports in future.
I'll put the question. Those in favor that this bill read second and say aye. Those against say nay. Those that bill be read first and say aye. Those say it's read. Those against say nay. The nay have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, you recall that we stood down the consideration of the 10th order of the day. Wait for Senator Ibrahim Gobiru's lead debate to be ready. Before the lead debate is ready, Mr. President and the distinguished colleagues, the 10th order of the day is second reading of the Engineering Registration ETC Council Act Cap E11-LFN 2004 amended 2018. Distinguished senators will report that the bill was read first in this chamber on Wednesday, the 18th of May 2016. Mr. President, we wish to invite Senator Ibrahim Gobir to hold the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Senator Gobir.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, distinguished colleague. This is a lead debate on the engineers amendment for registration, sponsored by Ibrahim Gobir and Senator Barnabas Yamadi. Distinguished colleagues, please permit me to lead the debate on this very important bill that seeks to amend the Engineers Registration Act, Law Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to introduce a new fifth register for the registered engineers consulting firms, amend the registered engineering council consulting firms, and to broaden the powers of the council and the recognition of other professional bodies outside the Nigerian Society of Engineers to nominate representative to the council among the others. The first reading of this bill was on Tuesday, 2nd October 2016. The Engineers Registration ETC Act, Cap E11, was amended in 2004, which was amended in 2004, does not have any provision for the registered consulting firm operating in Nigeria, which tends to neglect a strong source of personal control and management in engineering practices. The need to monitor the practice of consulting firms that are handling various engineering projects in the country has become very essential to ensure capacity building and improve local content development. The need for mandatory attachment of Nigerians to expatriate engineers of major projects to understudy them from inception becomes very possible. The bill also seeks to get rid of unqualified expatriates from our engineering industry. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, you must have noticed severally that engineering projects completed and delivered by the expatriates in this country are finally handed over to the local engineers without recourse to the needed professionalism and the high expertise for effective maintenance. These amendments are to ensure that all foreign engineering firms are not only duly registered, but are registered to establish their design offices in Nigeria, so as to assist in the training of engineering personnel. Then the whole issue here, sir, is to ensure that the first register for consultants is actually included. Then we also provide for provisional registration and then also to be able to eliminate quacks from our industry. And the last issue is to ensure that Coden has the power to enter into the premises of any construction firm so that if they find any deficiency, they can be able to close that from the Act. And I think that this is very important, Your Excellency. Fine?
Who is anybody? Senator Odia. Senator Odia.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Clifford Odia, representing Edo Central Federal District. I stand to support this bill that has been moved by my learned colleague, Senator Gobi. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the idea behind this bill is to reposition current to enable them function properly. Presently, we have the registered engineering consulting firms in Nigeria that is currently handling all consulting activities of engineers. If this bill is passed, it will go a long way to making it possible for Korean to be able to monitor these consulting engineers in the manner prescribed by the Engineers Council. So this is an all-important bill. And I want to thank the presenter of this bill, Dr. Kobe, for all important work. I so support.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that this bill read the second time say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the bill for an act to amend the Engineers Registration, etc. Act, Cap E11, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and other matters connected therewith, 2018, second reading.
A bill for an act to amend the Engineers Registration, etc. Act, Cap 11 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and other matters connected therewith, 2018, second reading taken. This bill is referred to Committee on Works and report back 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the 14th and last order of the day, second reading of the Federal College of Education, Usukbenu, Rua, Edo State Establishment Bill 2018. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in December on Wednesday, the 24th of January 2018. Mr. President, may we invite Senator Clifford Odia to move the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Senator Clifford Odia.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Clifford Odia, representing Edo Central Senatorial District. Thank you for the opportunity given to me to lead this debate on the establishment of Federal College of Education, Usukbenu, Iroa. Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues, please permit me to lead the debate on this all-important bill, which seeks to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Education, Usukbenu, Iroa, Edo State. The bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Wednesday, 24th January 2018. Mr. President of the Senate and my distinguished colleagues, we all know that education is the bedrock of every modern society. The existence of a sound and robust education system in any country is predicated on the availability of qualified and well-trained teachers to impart the required knowledge on the students. Thus, the need to have a strong system in our educational sector that shall continuously produce well-qualified and trained teachers, as is obtainable in other advanced countries. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the object of this college, among others, includes to encourage the advancement of learning to all persons without distinction or race, creed, sex, or political convention. B, to develop and offer academic and professional programs leading to the award of certificates, first degrees, postgraduate research, diploma, and higher degrees with emphasis on planning, development, and adaptive skills in education, technology, applied science, agriculture, commerce, arts, social science, humanities, management, and allied professional disciplines. C, to produce socially mature educational men and women with capabilities not only to understand the educational need of Nigeria as a nation, but also to exploit the existing educational infrastructure and improve on it to develop new ones. To act as an agent and catalyst for effective educational system through postgraduate training, research and innovation for effective utilization and conservation of country's human resources, and to bring quality change in education by focusing on teacher education through teaching and learning innovations, and to collaborate with other national and international institutions involved in training, research and development of education with a view to promoting governance, leadership and management skills among educational managers. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I believe that when this institution is established, it will go a long way to providing higher educational facilities to our teeming youth in this country. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it should be remembered that one of the cardinal objectives and goals of this administration of the change matter is the strong development of our educational sector. In view of the above, my dear colleagues, I urge you all to support this all-important bill and pass it into law. I so submit, Mr. President.
Senator Gobri.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues. I rise to support this very important bill, and particularly because of the bill that we passed, that if any state doesn't have any of these institutions, either federal university, federal college of education, federal polytechnic, at least should have one. So I therefore support that they should have the federal.
All right, thank you. Those in favor that this bill is read second time say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Education, Usugbenu, Irua, Edo State, and for other matters connected therewith, 2018, second reading.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Education, Usugbenu, Irua, Edo State, and for other matters connected therewith, 2018, second reading taken. Bill referred to tertiary institutions and third fund report back within 4 weeks. Couple of announcements. Bill for Conference, Maritime University of Nigeria, Okerekoko, Establishment, etc. Bill 2018. The Senate has passed the approved bill with difference. Memberships are Senator Jibril Barau, Senator Emmanuel Boucher, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, Senator Albert Bassi, Senator Samuel Egu, and Senator Jare. The senators should meet with their counterparts in the House of Representatives for conference. Distinguished colleagues, also, I will take this announcement and probably I'll have to repeat it again on Tuesday because of these ad hoc committees assignments. I have some committees here that are giving directives that we should ensure that these ad hoc committees complete their assignments. So I'm reminding ad hoc committees, about 10 of them, please unfailingly this month of February, they must complete this assignment because these committees was going to will be standing up by March. They are Committee on 2013 Audit Report of Nigeria Strategic Industry Transparency Initiative, Senator Barau Jibril is chairman. Ad hoc Committee to investigate alleged misuse on the remittance, non-remittance of other fraudulent practices in collection, accounting, remittance, and expenditure of internally generated revenue by revenue generating agencies. Senator Solomon Adiola is chairman. Ad hoc Committee on Southern Kaduna Crisis and other parts of the country, Senator Gaya is chairman. Ad hoc Committee on the State of Humanitarian Relief Efforts in the Northeast, Senator David Umoru is the chairman. Ad hoc Committee on the National Health Insurance Scheme, leader is handling that. Ad hoc Committee on attempted assassination of Senator Dino Milai, Senator Barau Jibril. Delegation of the Kogi State Governor on the attempted assassination of Senator Dino Milai. Ad hoc Committee on the issue of accommodation, logistic, feeding, etc., onshore and offshore, Senator Alero. Ad hoc Committee to investigate various allegations levied against Nigerian police, Senator Francis Ademekena. An ad hoc committee to investigate various allegations of NNPC, Senator Wamako. These committees have the end of the month to hand in their reports. Distinguished colleagues, I haven't done all items on our order paper. I hereby adjourn the Senate to Tuesday, the 13th, February 2018 at 10 a.m. prompt. We all know that Thursday, there's no sitting on Thursday because we all are attending the Security Summit. Don't please be on time for us to be there by 9:30.